Welcome into Pallilo Points. I'm Brandon Strange of Sports Map Houston. I'm joined by Charlie Pallilo of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Please, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe to the channel. Charlie, over the past week, the Texans fans, and probably more specifically Deshaun Watson fans, have had to come to terms with some pretty ugly accusations being hurled Watson's way. We are not here to speculate on guilt or innocence. We will simply continue to address these issues from the standpoint of how they impact the local football team that we cover. We don't know the facts of all the issues at hand here, but we do have some facts that we can kind of help debunk, if not clarify, some of the more popular narratives that are floating around Deshaun Watson and the Texans right now. First thing, which has less to do with any legal case and more to do with the Texans versus Deshaun standoff. When the Texans signed Tyrod Taylor and subsequently Ryan Finley, some fans and media members said that this was a sign that the Texans were definitely trading Deshaun Watson. At the end of the day, they have to fill out a roster for the preseason, right? Even if Tyrod's going to be your backup to Deshaun, you still need someone. You're not going to give him every snap in the preseason. You're going to need someone to take more snaps in the preseason, correct?
Yeah, if we went back through the last 5 years, through the last 15 years, not just with the Texans, with any other club, they're all playing at least three quarterbacks during the course of the preseason, and that'll be reduced to 3 games likely this fall. But if Deshaun Watson is a happy and exonerated Texan, but he's still basically playing only cameos. Taylor would play the bulk of the game, but you're not going to have him play all of the games. So there would be another warm body, or if you want, as a third quarterback. There are taxi squad type guys for the preseason, bunch of guys who have no chance to make the team, who are basically training camp and preseason fodder. That could be Finley's role, or if the Texans were to move on from Watson and hold off, not loving Tua or Darnold as an integral part of a trade with the Jets or Dolphins, or not being in love with one of the quarterbacks in this draft to use a high pick on whatever you wind up acquiring, that it's not beyond the realm of possibility that their depth chart reads Taylor 1, Finley 2, which might be appropriate for the 2021 Houston Texans.
Second thing that gets repeated a lot is that the Texans haven't traded Watson because they are playing hardball. But Charlie, I don't know anything. I'm not a capologist at all, but given the severity of what the cap situation looks like, can they even absorb a $20 million cap hit to trade him?
Yeah, on the books, if Deshaun Watson is a Texan, he's roughly $15 million for 2021. If they were to trade him before the draft, the dead number becomes 22. Check my math. So they'd need to free up an additional $7 million of cap space, which presently they have after restructuring Laramie Tunsil and a few $1 million in the NFL, even with the reduced cap. There are always Zach Cunningham's another contract you could redo to free up a few $1 million. So I don't think that would be a stopper against a deal getting done if they were committed to trading Deshaun Watson and there was the killer deal available. I just think right now there'd be no substantive trade offer for Deshaun Watson. And this one, for all the Texans screw-ups and ineptitude and incompetence or bad karma, right, 6 weeks from now, who could possibly have envisioned this scenario where the Texans' trade value for Deshaun is largely liquidated, at least for now? Can Deshaun Watson sit out a year by personal choice with all this swirling around him? And even if he is utterly innocent, unfortunately, the way the world works, the stain will remain, and the PR hit would be massive if he opted to just sit out an entire season and peak against the Texans.
We've seen people comment on our social media stuff. We've seen people comment on these videos. We heard a caller this morning call into John and Lance's show that were saying that they believe the Texans are orchestrating this or behind this or leaking this with the intention of ruining Watson's reputation around the league. Now, I don't have any evidence to the contrary, but I would just posit this. Don't we have plenty of examples, Charlie, of guys who've done terrible things and still somehow are able to find jobs within the National Football League?
Superstar quarterbacks certainly can recover. Now, depending on which end of the spectrum you were on, Drew Brees was either a great person or a villainous softy when he modified his position on the kneeling for the flag and stuff. Brett Favre had a couple of uncomfortable moments and allegations during his career. In the case of Deshaun Watson, a 25, soon to be 26-year-old star-level quarterback, if he is in a position where he's fully allowed to play and he plays well, he's generally going to be received very well by whatever fan base he is playing for. That is just how sports work, for better and worse, in this country.
I think some more acute examples here are Roethlisberger, Michael Vick. I mean, Ray Rice was something where we saw a short suspension turn into a longer suspension after video evidence came to light. So I really see that, it seems as if professional sports teams, when there's millions of dollars on the line, tend to make exceptions regardless of how bad these accusations are against the athletes. Am I right?
Ray Rice was an over-the-hill running back, if someone was to suggest, well, he never got back in the league. Deshaun Watson is a star-level quarterback, and I'm sure there are those, if some of what is alleged against him is borne out as disgusting and, frankly, as disturbed and deranged as Deshaun would have been proven to be, plenty would say, well, it wasn't rape. He didn't kill anyone. He just had a sexual deviancy problem that he'll work through, and look at the charitable donation he's made to this cause and that cause. If you are not incarcerated, or in a case of Michael Vick, even if you are, right, we're an alleged society of second chances. I think it's a sliding scale of those second chances. Star-level quarterbacks who can deliver victories and, by extension, millions and millions of dollars to their employers, those second chances seem to turn up pretty frequently.